What's up everybody, Gundam Flexing here, and in this video we're going to be checking out the recently completed Reborn 100 Gun Easy from Mobile Suit Gundam Victory. This kit came out in late December 2018 and at the time of this video could still cost you roughly around $30 to $35. Now if you read all the reviews online and watched the other YouTuber videos, you can get the gist that this is a very straightforward kit. And I can tell you that it is a simple kit. It reminds me more of a high-grade build. It comes with your standard weapon systems, it comes with minimal stickers, and it does come with decals. So with that being said, if this kit was roughly around $40, I wouldn't recommend it, but at the price of $30 or below, definitely recommend it. It is a pretty cool looking suit. So without further ado, we're going to check out all the periphery items before we go into the model we see in front of you. And coming up first is the stickers and the decals. And like I said, it does come with minimal stickers, just enough for the eyes and the vents, and that's it. But for the decals, you do have a wide variety. And I did use the vast majority of them per the instructions. And it's pretty cool because it does have the insignias at the top left that you're able to use, and the standard white decals, which I also recommend using since the majority of the color is green. I think white would stick out very well. And now on to the weapon systems. As I said before, it is a very straightforward weapon system, standard across most mobile suits. You have your close range weapon system. Here it is, it's just a beam saber. And what's cool about this one is most other kits would have your beam sabers mounted in the legs, mounted behind the skirt. But for this particular model, this beam saber is actually mounted in the shoulder above right there where I'm pointing at, which is a pretty cool feature. Next, you also have your primary weapons, and this is his primary weapon aside from his bazooka. It is a simple, pretty cool, unique looking rifle. You have the scope right here, you have a very big barrel right there, and you also have this unique little thing that sticks out at the bottom of the barrel. But here it is, and as you'll notice, there is little indentions at the handle which will give it a nice fit in the hands. And what's great about this particular weapon system is that you're able to mount it in either hands. And speaking of hands, don't expect many variations of it. It's just the ones you have right now on the model, which are the grippy ones, the open palm ones, which will just pretty much grip the weapon systems. So you don't have an open hand, you don't have closed fists, just the hands to mount the weapon systems. And of course we have the bazooka, and just like the rifle, the bazooka fits into the hand right there, and it also has little slots where it could grip inside the palm, and it is very sturdy. The bazooka comes in several pieces. You have the one at the very tip, gray color, you have the body that is green, and of course you have this portion which is supposed to resemble the tube, and that is two pieces, the top piece and the bottom piece right there, and all the way down to the barrel. And of course you also have your sticker at the scope. So a very straightforward bazooka, a little bit smaller than the 1100 Vagina. And as a side, here we also have a secondary beam, which is excess. And this little cool beam effect looks like he's like waving it around, which is a pretty cool extra. It is not required for the assembly of this kit, but it is something cool to have. And of course, we have his shield. And this is a pretty cool looking shield. Just looking at the designs and looking at the like lightsaber strobe type look, it is transparent, so in the white light it does show through, which is pretty cool in my opinion. It's a very basic shield, just like any of the Vaginas. And the way it's mounted is it's mounted through either arm. It could be mounted here into the right, or here into the left, right there, into those slots. Or you may simply disassemble this whole thing and just have the carrier and not the shield. But that's it, the shield. And now on to the model itself. If we look at the head is pretty cool. He does have two little cannons on top of his forehead, which is typical for most Gundams. And what's also unique is if you look at the sides here and here, those are actually stickers for his vents. So those are actually optional. If I were to take off the sticker, the colors underneath it would be different, and you could go ahead and panel line, but I went ahead and used the stickers. And what I also like about this model is his little feature right here above his shoulders. So as I said before, one here is to mount his beam saber, and he only has one. And then the other one houses two little missiles. Now, as unique as this feature is, I sort of wish they added a little bit more than just these two openings positions, right? It sort of feels like it went halfway, and that's it. There are no other opening slots for him on the side of his legs, on his skirt, something sort of that resembles a heavy arm. You just have these two slots. Now, if you think that's a little bit weird, you do have the options to remove these two slots and actually put in a cover, which is just flat. So really he'll just have like normal flat shoulders. So these two things are absolutely optional. I just sort of wish they added them more around his body. And here we have his shoulders. What I like about the shoulders is that they are simple, but what I didn't like was that you had to cut the runner at the very edge. So I do have some sanding to go. This removed the nub marks right there and right there. And they're just a little bit evident, but something that just irked me a bit. If we look at his arms, they're pretty normal. However, one thing I do want to point out is how his arms are connected, particularly, I guess, around his wrist to the rest of his arm. And they're connected like this. So as you can see on this end, and this end here, it doesn't really fit in tightly. So as you like try to pose your guy, it does come off a tad bit easier than I would like. This is a unique design. It's not particularly one with a pillar that goes in all the way. It's more like it just catches on to the edges of these circles, and you're able to knock it a little bit loose as you're trying to model your model. But yeah, I didn't really like it. It did come out a couple times as I was trying to pose him, but other than that, it's fine. Nothing too particularly cool about his waist or his skirt. He doesn't come with a massive backpack as like traditional most other mobile suits, but he does have thrusters at his back. Here they are. And of course you can mount his bazooka at the back of his skirt. Looking at his legs, on each side of the legs, if you wanted to, you're able to mount the rifle either here or mount the rifle right here. And as I said at the beginning of this video, this is a very straightforward kit. So what I mean by that is you sort of have an inner frame, but then everything else is just slapped around it. So I would say in total, if you look at his upper legs, it's just two pieces, the front and back. And then if you look at the bottom portion of his legs, excluding the little rifle mounts, you're just going to have his kneecap, the side of his legs, the front right here where my thumb is at, the back right there, and of course all the foot, that's something separate. But again, it's pretty simple, but they do include the vents underneath his kneecaps, which is a little bit cool. And as you can tell, you do lace some of the clear decals around his body, and I did it for the vast majority. I think the placement is absolutely fine, and it does add a little bit more eye candy to what I'm looking at. He doesn't have like particularly great phenomenal mobility in his legs and knees compared to like a GM Sniper, but he is able to bend his knee like this, but just not all the way up with this flexion, which is absolutely fine. I don't think I'll ever want to pose him in such a manner. If we look at the bottom of his feet, he does have a really cool cover, but his feet is pretty much a single piece, so you're not able to move his heel forward and try to make it touch his toes. So that's just a little bit cool feature that is featured in some other models, but in this case, not this one, since it's very straightforward. So that's pretty much everything I want to cover on this model. Again, it is straightforward, so I wouldn't recommend this if it was roughly around $40. In my opinion, $40 is roughly around like the price I would pay. $40 and up is something like a master grade price, but everything below needs to be either phenomenally big or incredibly detailed and very unique. There are something about this kit that I like. I really like the weapon systems. I really like this, believe it or not, I actually like his face and helmet. I thought that was a cool feature. If I could, I would absolutely, if I could do like a version 2.0, I would absolutely open more vents right here. So aside from the little missile pods here, I would add them on the skirt, I would add them on the legs. I would just really highlight that feature. Again, absolutely worth it for $30. A very simple build. can't really recommend it enough unless if it was very expensive. So that's all I have to say about this particular model, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please post it down in the section below. As always, I appreciate you all for watching. I hope you all stay safe out there as well. Peace out.